Hello. I'm Colleen Coles. Sometimes I don't know how to call myself, but spiritual guide, life coach, authentically on purpose. I help brave spiritual people live out their mission here on earth, being authentically themselves, enabling their dream life to happen while helping others, and that self mastery it takes to do that. So I'm so excited. Today I'm doing something I haven't really done before, where I'm bringing my gift of channeling my specific intuitive gift, which is especially helpful if you're somebody who has done a lot of work on yourself, who has done a lot of therapy, and maybe it's just not cutting it, and you know that there's a deeper level of healing or energetic depth that needs to be looked at and transformed to have those shift in tools to really change. That's where I come in. And so, one way that I do that is with the one on work I do, I am able to connect to the light, bring you through a visualization, and then we see and I sense in my body and see in my mind what needs to happen and where the trauma blocks are in your body to actually shift and have a true result, like a release, a catharsis, just a difference in your state that lasts, and a true shift in healing. And so once we connect to that light, we see where that trauma block is. I have this movie happen in my mind where it literally leads us with this divine connection to go to that root of the pattern and root of the trauma to give it what it needs in real time. And so the results of that are pattern shift, the same stuff that gets you down shifts, and there's just a lightness and an understanding. And really the coolest part to me is that there's a connection to that divine. So I love sharing this story. Carl Jung, who came after Freud and really looked at psychology with more of a collective spiritual lens, he was doing therapy, and he had this client. At the time they called them patients, but he had this woman and he had been seeing her for months, and she just kept coming with symptoms of anxiety, depression. She was a young mother. She wasn't doing her duties. She wasn't really showing up, and they couldn't figure out why. And months were going by to where she'd come in his office. He had helped a lot of people, but she wasn't getting a result. She wasn't getting a shift, and he couldn't figure out why. Around the same time, Carl Jung was studying and thinking about the concept of synchronicity, where at the time that wasn't really allowed or entertained, because at the time psychology was just about the mind and why we do what we do and why people are sick. It was very disconnected. It was just here. Synchronicity is the concept of when you have a meaningful connection to the universe. It's kind of like a thumbs up from the universe that like you're on track or you're seeing. It's like a wink. I remember experiencing my own signs of synchronicity in high school, where I would be driving in my little white Toyota Camry, and I'd be having this thought, be like, like I just wish I could trust myself. And as I'm thinking that thought, the words of the song on the radio were literally trust myself, or something like it was literally the same words I was thinking. And at the time, I didn't know about that concept, but I was just like, what does this mean? What is that? And I just got the sense it's like a thumbs up, like on the right track. We're in motion together. So there's actually a concept for that called synchronicity, a meaningful coincidence from the universe. So to Jung, when he was sitting with this young woman on his couch, he was sitting in his chair and he couldn't stop thinking about what it was that was out of his reach to help this woman. She was crying, she was depressed. And all of a sudden, she started talking about this dream she had, where in this dream, she couldn't stop thinking about, even though it didn't make sense and they thought she was irrational, she kept seeing this little scarab. And a scarab is those little black beetles, like in Egypt, like in the Mummy, where they're black and big. And she just kept thinking of these big black beetles. And she was almost like hysterical, trying to figure out what it meant and wondering why it kept showing up in this big, deep dream. And Jean was there kind of just like feeling almost in surrendered moment because he couldn't figure out this for her and he didn't know what else to do. Like all of his tricks were out. He's just like, I don't know what to do. And as he was sitting and contemplating this, he heard this little tap behind his shoulder on the window. And when he looked back, he opened the window and noticed it was a bug. It turns out it was a scarab. It was an actual beetle, like a scarab, the scarab. And as she was in her state, he takes the scarab, he puts it over to her and he says, "Here, my dear, is your scarab." And in that moment, she just starts to break down, break free, and cry and release, and essentially get what she was really looking for, which was this. She was looking for a meaningful connection, a way to know that something bigger than herself was actually there and meant something, that it was connecting to her in a way that couldn't be made up. And as the story goes, that was the last session she needed with Dr. Zhang because she actually had the catharsis, she had that healing, she had that alignment, connection that she had been looking for through all these other cognitive ways, these human ways. And I love that story so much because it really demonstrates the power of connection to spirit, to God, to the divine, to who we truly are as souls and connected to Father, to Mother, God. That we're not alone, that there is a path for you, that you are on the path, that there is a light for you, there is a purpose here for you, and there are directions on where to go. You're not alone. You're not alone. I really pride my work on being similar to that. And not just because I decided or I want to have that be my story, but because of the results that my clients receive from this gift of my channeling. It's where I see stuff that I don't know what it means. And then they tell me, oh my God, that's the place that I was abused in, that chair. Or, oh my God, that heart with little white shoes and white gloves is the cardiovascular heart that my dad loved and hung on to right before he passed. Like things like this that help a person, help you feel more connected to your soul and your path and to have that healing. And so typically, I only do that in one-on-one sessions because I thought, okay, I'm tuning into this person in front of me. I need to just do that with them. Like that's my capacity. And recently I had a mentor who was like, really? Because I want to help more people, but I only have so much time. I have a 3-year-old son. Like I'm a projector in human design. I don't want to work that much. Just let's be real. I want to be honest with you. I want to help, but I don't want to effort. And so she was like, hey, I want you to do something. Why don't you try to do your gift, but for the collective? Why don't you try to do it for more than one person at a time? And so here I am. I said yes to that challenge, said yes to that call. And so we're putting it to the test. What will happen? I don't know. So far, so good. I did one on Facebook this week. I did one on Instagram. And so far, the feedback has been positive. And I trust that the images or like the symbols and stuff will come about for the people who watch it even 2 years from now, that it can be timeless, that God will work and use this video to access the people who need it when they do need it. So let's go ahead and dive in. Again, I'm really excited because I only usually do this on one-on-one sessions. A session for 90 minutes is usually $350. And I'm just wanting to bring this as a gift to you and to explore what it looks like to have a healing, but on a grander scale. So let's go ahead and get started. Feel free at any point to write in the comments. Feel free to subscribe, all of that BS almost, I want to say, but it's a way to keep in touch. If you do want to keep more in touch than just a comment on YouTube, then feel free to go to my website at colleencoles.com. I'm on Instagram at colleen.coles. And I think that's it. Send me a message, email me. I would love to hear how this resonates for you, what came up, and don't be afraid to share it. It's not awkward, it's not weird, it's safe. And I just love to hear it. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I was going to do this on TikTok as well, but I'm feeling like I don't really want to because I think it'll be too much at one time. So I'm going to just honor that. And we're going to start with a prayer, and then we're going to do something called grounding to really have us settle in. So just let me say this. I'm going to pretend like you and I are meeting for the first time and you're walking into my space. So we're going to start with a prayer, and feel free to close your eyes. Dear God, dear Source, dear Spirit, dear Pachamama, Earth, Mother Earth, I'm just so grateful to be here as a vessel right now to share my gift. And I pray and set the intention it reaches those who need to hear it, who need this healing, who are here to receive. And let that healing or that encounter melt away the blocks or the layers on top of who they are and their mission driven life, to leave the legacy, to be who they are, to have a great time, to have a dream life, to live out their mission, their purpose on why they came onto the planet, to then have that collectively help heal all of us and the world at large. So it is. We're grounded, we're protected. Thank you. And so it is. So I'm going to do a quick grounding for myself. This just helps to get our body, our soul back in our body. So we're really here to receive it, and we feel bigger than the problem that might come up. So again, this is just, we're going to connect to the light. I'm going to guide you through a visualization. And as I do, sensations might come up in my body, visions might come up in my body. I'm just going to share what I see, share what I feel. If it resonates, take it. If not, that's okay. But it's worth sharing. And for this container, it might be for somebody else or for you at a different time. So just let it be like an experiment, an experience. Allow yourself to notice your own sensations, your own feelings, any colors, any sensations in your body, because we'll be kind of going back into that as well. You're guided, you're protected. This is a safe space. Only good, really, for here. And that's about it. And then we'll go into what your body's speaking. But feel free to set your own intention right now of what would it be like to let go of something. Like, what would you love to let go of today? That would help you get you closer to what you truly desire. Okay, so go ahead and just set that now. I'm going to ground. So this tool is to help you get back resourced when you feel stressed. I'm not necessarily stressed, but I'm not maybe as present as I could be. So this is just helping with presence. And a whole explanation of this is on my website right now as my kind of freebie, and that'll just pop you into my newsletter list of other helpful things with this as a meditation tool, as a recorded tool. So okay, last piece here. Feel free for yourself just to get deep breaths, any water. Okay, get some water. All right, let's do it. All right, so do I have your permission to tap into your energy field? Okay, if that's a yes, then we're going to go forward. If it's a no, feel free to turn this video off Or you can watch, but just know you won't really get the result of it because you're not in it. And I respect that. So just know. And I'll move forward now for the you that said yes, the people that said yes. Okay, great. So go ahead and sense, see, feel free to close your eyes, whatever is comfortable for you. Sense, see, or feel the light 300 feet above your head. And see it coming down like a pillar of light, just shining bright. Maybe it has a tone of joy or happiness or like playfulness or abundance. And at the end of the day, it's just light. So it might not mean anything. And that's cool. So see that light just come and like splash onto the top of your head, and just seeing it like going over you like a veil. Or for some reason, like beer foam, just if you got into like a huge beer pong, something like, I don't usually say that, but I say what I see. So it's like that foamy, loving, playful, just veil at light going all the way down your spine, in the back. Ooh, and wrapping you almost like you see this this like veiled Mother Mary doll in like that lacy white fabric. And notice that doll. Notice how she might have black hair or be unmoving and stale or like carded. And you seeing this and seeing that light, pick up the doll and just have compassion for that doll. Be like, oh, you're so stuck. You're so stuck. It's okay. Like, oh, look at that. And as you have that compassion on yourself as that doll, but separate, that doll is separate, but it's you, it's in you. That doll becomes alive, and she takes your hand and she puts the other hand in the sky, and you both shoot off to outer space. And again, you're in this like milky, exciting, nourishing, loving, soft arena where almost the atmosphere above the planet is like its own ocean with foamy waves and loving sand. You get to play here. You're stepping out beyond places you never even knew you could go or existed, were way too far out for you to hold or be at, but you're here. And it's exciting. And as you see that possibility, you then put your arm out and blast even farther with a new confidence now. So as you see that, let this light that has come from above go down into your head, into your crown. Like milky lava light just going into your head, around your head, into your pineal gland, into behind your head, just filling you up with this foamy, milky light. See it going into your throat. Seeing it going into your shoulders, all the way into your arms, into your hands. Seeing that light going in around your heart. And noticing your heart almost looking like a baseball glove, ready to catch the light. And maybe it's feeling a little dry and stiff and stuck, like so desperate for that light. And let that light just come in and give it the nourishment it's been waiting for, that it needs. Good, so see that light coming down into your sacral, into your lungs. Good, lighting up every area that it touches, not needing to change anything, Just lighting it up. Honoring and respecting what's there. See that light going into your sacral chakra and swirling. Good. And then see it dropping into your root and into your back, like your tailbone area, your spine. Fill it up with light. Really look at where it might feel dark back there, like you don't have that lower support. And we're just going to give it the light. Notice that everything is okay right now. That's my dog, Kona. That's so funny. It's like she's barking as if this dog could talk, like there's an emergency here. And it's not an emergency. It was just the mailman. But in our own self, like, is there an issue? Is there a problem? Anytime we feel unsafe or ungrounded or unstable, just give yourself that light and remind yourself that you are safe and ask yourself if you're safe. And if you're not, then change something. If you are, that's a grounding experience for you. See that light going into your legs, into your hip flexors, all the way through like milky, loving beer light, down into your ankles and into your feet. It's like so interesting. It's like the foam of like a beer keg. I've never was really a drinker, but like if you can imagine that is similar to the foam of the ocean. Like to me, it's like God is similar to even create the beer foam and then the foam of the ocean. Like there's a playfulness here. There's a authority, but there's a playfulness and a reminder of that playfulness and connection, even in your own silliness. Maybe God could be that fun and silly too, while still respectful and honoring and grace. Okay, so see that light going into your feet. And now through your root and through your feet, the light passes through. They kind of combine into one cord of light and shoot all the way into the center of the planet. And now connecting with that earth energy, and earth is just laughing and giddy, giggling, and letting that light come up. It's all very playful. And seeing that light going into your feet again, into your hips, but noticing this lightness of that playful energy combined here. Nourishing feminine light. Through your knees, like an astronaut suit blowing you up, almost like the Michelin Marshmallow Man, just blowing you up. Expanding you, let it come through your hips as you're ready. Through your solar plexus, your sacral. Notice how you're okay. And all the way through to your heart. See it through the rest of your body, your arms. And as that light connects at your crown and at your heart, the light from above matches the light from below, and it creates this big, almost explosion of a circular red light all around your body. Let that Michelin fun, nourishing bubble light come over 20 feet all around your body, 30, 40, 50, 60. You can't get hurt by this. You're getting bigger, but it's really the light within you. You're not scaring anybody. It's nourishing you and nourishing other people. And they can't, it's invisible. You're just helping you. And they're helping them. These light beings, this light. Okay. As big as the state you're in, as big as the country you're in, as big as the continent, all the way now around the world. Notice that energy of light getting even 100 to 300 feet around the entire planet. Okay, good. Now come back to yourself hovering around the planet. and just go into the space station with that black-haired, kind of frozen-ish Mother Mary doll. And notice the control center and the captain's seat and the view of Earth, the view of Mars, the view of Moon. And just really look at all of the little buttons and levers and shiny leather of the seat, like the shiny leather of the levers. Just really allow yourself to be with that and touch it. I'm not going to touch anything wrong, just lightly experience it. You get to have this now. You get to have this autonomous control of your life now. So wind blows behind me and like opens and shuts my window. It's fun. Then maybe you notice yourself saying to this doll, I don't think I can do this on my own. Maybe it's I don't think I can get much help from you anymore, this stale doll. I don't know if I can get support in my life, or if I deserve it, or to drive my own life. Just give that some light. It's very logical. Seems very heavy though. And in energy, heaviness are lies, truth is lightness. So this black-haired white doll, and you're right, like she's in her normal state, very frozen. I want to say that's the patriarchy of freezing or plasticizing, downplaying, what's the word? Shooing off the feminine and your own inner beauty and connection to the divine. As like it's a trinket, it's a toy. It's not, it's your aligned truth of life. Living out abundantly as you get to be in this lifetime through that aligned energy and emotion of creation here now. So she, though, kind of uncracks, and that's where the past was from. Like, you're right. She's not hitting it. But in this moment with what you've shared, she kind of moves and animates, and she just shows you these buttons, looks at them and says, just touch them. Just try it. Like, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. And any judgment that would tell you you went wrong is that problem. It's not the result that's the problem. It's the supposed to get from this. That's the problem. But go ahead and try. So you sit down in that big chair. You strap in. She helps you. And now she just invites you to say, look out, and what do you see? What do you see from, what is it? Accountable stability. Accountability and stability. And you look and you see luxury. You see peace. Maybe you see a beach and like partying, but like a healthy, yummy, luxurious way. And you turn to her and you're like, I don't deserve that. She says, yes, you do. Try it anyway from here. So you say, okay, fasten your seatbelt. She holds on to the chair, excited. And you just push one of these red levers forward. And you start to move like Han Solo's big ship. And now you speed off in lightning speed forward now. Now go ahead and just sense what might be coming up in your body as you do this. If there's like a dizziness, a heaviness, a sleepiness, a buzz, a sensation in your shoulder, your right ankle, just notice what might be coming up for you and just log that, like in your mind. And now see this ship like kind of like go in like retro speed. So it's kind of in slow motion now as we start to look at what might be getting in the way. Okay, so this is the part that I usually do with clients. So we'll see how it goes virtually, but I trust. So notice the sensation you feel in your body, and I'm just gonna ask it a couple questions, okay? And I just want you to trust whatever comes to mind first and foremost, okay? So really see and sense that energy as if it's like its own object. So if it's a dizziness, if it's a fogginess, if it's a pain in your thigh, if it's your right shoulder tensing up, just if that were to be an energy, what does that look like, feel like? What's the color? What's the texture? What's the size? Kind of identify that now. Okay. Ooh, if you're yawning, that makes sense. It's like letting go of old energy. It's not yours. Okay. So now as you see that energy, you're going to ask it a couple questions. Notice how it's not you. It's kind of like you're holding it. So go ahead and ask it these questions. Who did I pick up this energy from? So you're asking the energy for yourself. Who did I pick up this energy from? Okay. Trust it. Maybe it's a mom, dad, it's a spouse, it's a friend from 6th grade. Just trust that. Let it come to you. Right? How old were you when you picked up this energy? Okay. And final question is, what is the emotional tone behind this energy? Okay, as you get that, is any memory coming to online when you think of that person at that age with those feelings? You notice that? Now see like your higher self and you going into that memory and like essentially giving you in that memory what you need. So for me, I'm seeing myself as like an authority going into that memory and just like with my hand up, blowing this space, this darker space with light. That there's nothing wrong, but we're just gonna finish this loop, okay? And that cycle. You don't need to believe that thought anymore that's causing you that pain or that problem or that particular outburst or outcome. You get to be free now through letting go and surrendering to what no longer is you or serves you and connect in a positive, higher self way to the person who you got this from. You don't need that anymore. You can drop it. They're going to be fine. You're going to be better. We do it though because we connect to the other person through it. So if it's okay, we'll go ahead and start to cut that sever and heal this block with the light. Like, is it okay for you to connect to this person in a new way and with your higher self and their higher self instead? And that way they can heal and let this go more and you can let it go. 100%. We need their free will, for them letting it go, but you're releasing your end of it. That's easier. Okay. So just go ahead and maybe notice your hand like giving this memory light, like almost like a fire. Like you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to figure it out. Just open your eyes and see it. You don't have to create what you see. Just look, and the answer is from that. Okay. So fill that memory up, those corners, just with some light and your own authority. See a dinosaur at a campsite looking through the tent as if their reality is what they're living in, and the tent is the sky. They're peeking through. And there's light under there. It's a big Brachiosaurus. Oh, like the Truman Show, like breaking through this like 3D set. Archaeologists of our soul. Okay, so finally, go ahead and in your body now, sense and really look at that energy again. And now just be like, okay, it's cool, you're here, and I love you. Thank you for being with me. And I'm just gonna give you the light you've been. It's not to change it. We're not actually trying to change it or erase it or get rid of it. It's just here an objective, compassionate light to give this what it's been longing for, okay? And you are the conduit. So imagine, it might speak up, it might pain you more, and just remember, we're gonna connect to that person in a new way now, okay? Is that okay? So go ahead and see yourself with your like imaginary hand or your physical hand over that spot where you're sensing that energy, whatever color it was, the shape, that memory. And just with your hand, that light that we connected to, you're going to give it the light. And just your job is to see that energy like block or whatever in your mind's eye. Don't let it go. And just let it be healed. Like let it be released. And how do you do that? Just sit with it, feel it, give it the light, and be open and compassionate and see it in your mind's eye. Don't let it wiggle away. Just really look at it. Okay? And just do that until you sense a shift. Okay? Go ahead. And breathe. You need to pause this until you feel like there's been a pop or a sensation of lifting. It's not as intense. Okay? And the question that's coming to mind is, what action can you take to let this be more real for you? To ground this in and be like, this happened, or this is happening. Maybe it's a choice in the opposite direction than you usually take with this fear or this block. For some reason, I'm seeing in my mind like this imaginary train cut its engine in half like a triangle, and it's going full speed ahead down this big mountain, Humphreys Mountain in Flagstaff, Arizona. It's just going down, and I can't control it. I can't hold it back. And just be with that train or be with that thing. And let it go. You've got your own answer inside of you. Trust that. All right, so fill that space where that was with light. Fill it up like a cavity. Thanking the light. Again, you can pause it if you need a little more time. You'll just notice a light pop or a light shift or a light release, and that's enough. That's good. So give it all this light, just thanking it, seeing a shell or like a seed pod all around your being, to just like a golden egg of light, just solidifying this. It is forever done. It is complete. It has happened. It's now. And feel free to open your eyes with a deep breath in and a smile. you might want to sit with this a little longer today. Okay, so you can just pause, just sit with it, and give it that light until you sense a shift. And if it doesn't shift, that's okay too, because you're still giving it what it needs. Okay, and give yourself, what's an action you could take to make this more real? And see yourself as safe in the opposite space that you're used to. Okay, we're complete. Welcome back. So thank you for joining me. Feel free to write me an email at colleen@colleencoles.com to let me know what you experienced, what happened for you, what you noticed, what released, what you see. I'd love to hear. You can write me a comment in the video below. Just, it's not as, intimate or secure. It's pretty public, but I'd love to still hear it. And just be with this. Let it be enough. You can find me at all those places, colleencoles.com, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. Would love to hear from you. But in any case, I hope this serves you well. I trust that it will. And I hope you have a great day today. All right. Take care. Bye.